Well, I've had another problem with this Champion saw. This one, which is Italian 38cc 41cm bar. Took the cover off, as usual. Just tie this down the trigger, make sure it doesn't pop all out, else you're going to mess this all up. It hadn't been started. If I dropped a bit of petrol down the carb, it had run and then stopped. I was pulling it apart just to think, oh, the carburetor's bunged up, I must, pull that out and take it apart. But once I opened it up, these pipes from the fuel tank, as you can see, both of them, had hardened off. This one here had broken off at the top, and this one is broken at the bottom. They're just hardened off, and obviously it's getting no fuel at all, so I wonder if the whole thing didn't run. So I'm just going to see if I can. I've got some tube that looks about right. I'm going to see if I can force some through into the tank, and then connect up to the carbs, put it back together, and see how we go. So hopefully it will be a short repair. There is a bit of insulation tube over, so it goes up here. But I find if you took the flywheel off, you can get to it all. So the flywheel, well, just undo the nut a little bit, hold it with the flywheel, and then tap the nut a couple of times with a hammer, and if you've not got a puller, and it should free it off, and then you can undo the nut and take the flywheel off. Don't lose the little key in here either. Just going to probably lift the coil and just clean the contacts that run round the flywheel. Not pretty clean on the flywheel, but these sometimes, actually I won't take it off, I'll just clean them on here. They get a bit rusty, these two, so I'll just clean those up, make sure there's a good spark from those, and then hopefully get back together with a new piping in, tank back in, and hopefully it will go again, because it's a brilliant saw. They're so good. I can't emphasise how good these are when they're working right. My oiler, it doesn't work. I've given up with that now. Make sure you seal it up though, because it does blow oil. It is supplied from the crank, I think, into there, so it will pressurise it slightly. So if your oiler's not working properly, it will, if you try and fill that up or leave it full, it will run down into the crank, and then you won't start it. So yeah, if you're working, you're fine, but if not, leave it empty, leave the top on tight so it's secure, and then just lubricate the blade. It's not difficult. I mean, to be honest, on a lot of my saws I use WD-40, just a spray can on the blade. As I'm going, it washes it and it lubricates it while you're working. Or it's up to you. I mean, to be honest, you can use some of this. This is bike chain one. For bike chain, it's a bit sticky, a bit more like the actual oil you get in the saws. It clings on. So get a tub of that, do it with that, or do it with WDs, or do it with both. Just to keep the blade lubricated so it doesn't tighten up. There we go. So hopefully that'll work. Okay, so I've got the tube in the tank now. I used a drill to open it up, so the drill gauge, the actual digital gauge isn't working, but it's 6mm is the tube size, and the drill is, I think that's 5mm. Yeah, the drill's 5mm. So if you drill the tank out, if you've got some tubes at 6mm, which is this green petrol tube, then 5mm drill the holes in the tank out a little bit, then you can force it through. But to force it through, you do need to do that. Chop the end at an angle, then you will be able to squeeze it and force it through. Once you've got it through and out the top, you can chop the end off, and then get obviously what I can make out, the filter one is this one. Is the inside one, which is this one. And these, I've marked them before. I forgot to do it this time, but I've put in on that, so that must be the in from the filter, and that's the return, I'm guessing. I hope so. But the other thing I did notice while it was apart, I just had a poke at the oil pipe, and the actual oil pipe had it, and it was that was broken as well. So I put some rubber pipe in. I'm going to feed that through the hole down here. It did have this little brass ferrule on it through here to hold it, but I should be able to get that through there, so we'll see how we go with that. Then the other end, I will need to definitely put some tie wraps on that. There is these you can use, which are the little clips. They will about go around these, but it does need somebody to hold it with the 5mm tube, because it is just a little bit bigger than the original. But if you've got these little tie wraps, put them round, you know, 1, 2, and if you're doing the oil pipe like this must have been my problem all along with the oil. That pipe was broken, no wonder it ran out the bottom. So I'll do that and put the pipes on, put it back together and see how we go. So hopefully I might actually have the oiler working. Not I'm too worried, but if it works, it works, so that's even better. And then the pipe's gone there, so there we go. See how we go. Okay, it all seems to have gone in alright. So we've got these pipes. There's a bit of inner tube here for a bit of insulation on it against the engine. Just small cable ties on here. I did eventually put a piece of tube onto, this is 6mm, it's a rubber tube, onto the connection on the back of, you can see it down there, back of the oil tank. There's a little plunger that works off the trigger down there, so there's a pipe onto that side from the tank at the top. There's the one at the bottom, which is from the crankcase for the pressure, and then there's another one off that plastic connector, that's the pumped piece that comes down around the back. And all I did was put a piece of rubber pipe down from it with a cable tie on again, and on the other side I poked a piece of thinner pipe like this up the middle, just up the rubber. Then it came through to the oil way on the other side, which is here, right. And then I've pushed a piece of pipe, you put a rubber seal over the end of that, and just made sure it's clear out this way. It's for the oil to run out, so it may work, it may not, but we'll try it. So hopefully back together with the new pipes on, with the oil pipe on, and I'll clean these terminals here, or these connections, and then get it back together again and see how we go. Okay, still not running right, so I pulled the cover off again and took the carb out. There's the top of it with the choke, and look, this isn't too good, is it? I mean, how it's supposed to run with all that in there, I'll never know. It wouldn't. I'm surprised it was going at all. That's absolutely bung full, the filter. So I took the top off. That's just this piece. I'll clean it all up, blow out the jets carefully, take the needle off the bottom side, clean all that out, take the jets out, these high and lows, and clean those tubes out as well, just blow them through, put it back together, and hopefully that's it. But well, what a load of muck in there. Mind you, it's a saw, I suppose it's going to get a lot of sawdust in there. Okay, so we've got the carb to bits. Here's the needle out, just goes in there, so there's only that screw to loosen off the Phillips, the crosshead, take them out. I've took the other side off, obviously. There's the main jet hole where the filter was and all the rubbish that came out. So we're just going to blow it all through now. The jets are out. Make sure you remember which jet goes in which. Let's have a look. Okay, I'll just mark it down somewhere like this. The high jet is this one, the long one with more of a bar on the end, and the low jet, hopefully this is right, is the shorter one. Okay, so that's the low jet. Just mark it on your bench and put it somewhere so you can see which is which, so you don't get them mixed up, which would be a nightmare. So yeah, if the rubbers are all okay, it's all done now. Incidentally, the settings for the carb for this one, for the high and the low, are both 1 1/4 from the stop. Wind them in, wind them out, 1 1/4 both. That's the basic setting, should get it going. Obviously your tick over screws here, throttle stop, you can move that down a bit to speed it up to start with, then back it off to what you like. Let's give it a go. Bit of choke, I think. That sounds alright. There we go. Alright, so back and running again, which is great because it's a really nice saw to use. It's only 38 cc's, but it's as big a cc as the, I think, 171s, 117 stills. Having a thin chain, it whips through the wood really quickly, so smashing saw there. I think they do it under Alko. It's an Alpina engine, so they might have different bodies on different people. Some of them are yellow, some of them have got a back handle on, but basically they're a really good saw once they're right, and hopefully this will last a lot longer now.